string picking guys and gals out there. Welcome back to Obscene Studios. I'm your host, Casey, and today we have a 1986 Gibson Les Paul Studio. This guitar belongs to a friend of mine that I go to church with. His name is Dave. He recently had me to do the acoustic video that I had out probably a month or so ago. The one where I had the goofy cowboy hat on. Well, he was so impressed by that he has been talking to me for the last week, and he wanted me to do some stuff to this guitar here. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to do what I normally do. I guess we'll just try to fix problems as we run into it. Like I said in that video before, Dave is just, he's an awesome guy. He's an old rocker. He's 60s, 70s era rocker. I couldn't find a whole lot of specs on this guitar other than I ran the serial numbers. It's a 1986 made in February of that year in Nashville, Tennessee, right here at home. It is showing signs of wear and tear, but overall a pretty sound instrument. The finish has some straight line cracks in it. The clear coat does anyway. He's not touched this in a long time. The strings are rusty. There's just a lot going on with this guitar. But overall, the action is really nice. This thing weighs a ton. I'm thinking 9 pounds or a little over. And he has done a couple of things to it. He has changed out the tuners. He still has all the original parts to this guitar. He's changed out the tuners and put locking tuners on it. And the best that I can see, these are Spiegels. And I don't know if you can see them all that well, and he has changed out the pickups and put in Seymour Duncans. I did notice that one of the pickup rings is bowed up just a little bit. Don't think that it's broken. It doesn't look cracked or anything, just bowed up a little. So we may take a little bit of tension off of that, kind of look at that. But what we're going to do with this thing is we're going to get these old strings off of here, and we are going to go through this guitar, make sure that our volume and tone pots are not scratchy, and we're going to clean up the fretboards. The frets, you can tell, they need a bit of a polishing. But there is no problem. They do have some flat spots on them, but there's no problem. And I played it like it is, and it sounded, about what one would sound like with old stuff on it that needed changing. But this is Dave, and we're going to do Dave a solid, and we're going to fix this guitar up for him. And this is a 22 fret guitar. It says a 24 3/4 inch scale, which is exactly what it is, 24 3/4. Rosewood fingerboard. Body style, I do not know, or not body style, but body wood, I do not know. I could not find anything specific. Maybe there's a website out there that you can look up individual guitars for that year and see all of the specs on that, but I didn't find it. I'm sure I didn't dig long enough to find it. There is a site out there somewhere, I'm sure. But all I know is that it plays amazing as far as action. Everything is absolutely wonderful with this guitar, other than it just needs brought back to its former glory, which I'm not going to restore it. I think that the clear coat having cracks in it is pretty cool. It kind of shows its age and how old it is. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, we're talking about a guitar here that's almost 40 years old. I mean, it's like a 39-year-old guitar, and look at this thing. I mean, it looks unbelievable. Now, it does have a ding right here on the back, and it had a ding. Let's see, there was another ding, a little small ding here and here. But as many of you out there, especially those of you that like guitars that look relict, that just adds character. But it has a set neck, and there is no separation at all. That looks amazing. There is no, you can barely feel the transition from the neck to the body right here. But yes, it's a beautiful guitar. I guess he got tired of winding those strings around those posts, and that's the reason why he put in those locking tuners. I'm a fan of locking tuners too. It's a little faster to string one up. And I always say on this channel, if you're restringing one, you ain't playing it. If you're doing this or that to one, you're not playing it. And I think that that's where my lack of ability when it comes to playing leads and other things on the guitar come from, is I spent too much time working on them and not enough time playing them. But we all know that if you grew up in a rural area and you didn't make a lot of money, you couldn't afford to just go out and spend money for someone else to fix your guitar. You learn how to do it yourself. So we're going to put this thing on the bench, and we are going to open it up. We're going to look at, see if it's got scratchy pots. I got some contact cleaner, some deoxide spray, and we are going to give this thing a run through, and we are going to make it absolutely beautiful again for my old buddy Dave. So stick around. If you're stopping in for the first time and you like this kind of stuff, I'm kind of a goofball when it comes to things. When it comes to, talking music and guitars, and this channel is kind of a laid back kind of reputation of just come here, sit down, enjoy yourself, maybe learn something, maybe teach me something, maybe have a laugh in the process. If you like that kind of stuff, consider slapping that like button, doing the little clickety click 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 thing. Subscribe if you want to. I don't want to be the guy that pushes that on everybody, only if you enjoy the channel. We are coming up on 100 members. Or 100 subscribers. I am 2 away. I'm at 98, which when I started this channel, I never figured anybody would like it, but I've gotten a lot of support from a lot of people, and I am so appreciative of that. So anyway, let's get to the bench. Okay, here we are on the bench. Move this drink over here out of the way. Want to be really careful with this guitar. I don't want to cause any damage to it whatsoever. So we're going to move hazardous materials like wetness out of the way. But yeah, I was at church this morning. I'm sure a lot of you out there don't go to church or whatever. I do. I believe wholeheartedly in it. Dave goes to church with me, and Dave has been talking about this guitar for quite some time. And he had actually brought it up to me several times that he wanted me to take a look at this guitar. And I told him, yeah, I'll take a look at it. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest. I have no problems with Gibsons at all. I love Gibsons. especially the Explorer styles. The only Gibson I do not like is the SG. I don't know why, but I played one time, didn't care for it at all. It was definitely, to me, it seemed like the bridge was too far up on the body, and it just did not feel comfortable for me to play. Had I started out playing SG style guitars, then it probably wouldn't bother me so bad, but I didn't. When I was young, I was first and foremost into thrash metal uh, in the 80s. And so I played stuff like Ibanez's, and, stuff with super fast necks, stuff like that. But with age, of course, any musician, I always say, with any musician, they're like, I want to learn a country song. I was okay. So country is what you're wanting to learn. Yes, there is no other music besides country. And I'll say, oh, yes, there is. And believe me, you will appreciate those other forms of music as you grow as a musician, because as musicians, we have to have respect for all forms of music. Because I have said many, many times that I was one of those guys. I was one of those guys that said, there is no other music besides metal. Of course, back then you had rock and roll, classic rock, rock and roll, hard rock, heavy metal, and thrash metal. That was pretty much all you had back then. Now there's about 600 million different genres of metal music. Now, I will say this, metal is the most fun for me to play. I enjoy playing metal. I like it for its power, for the sound of it. As a good friend of mine, Don Beckett, says, I like the noise that it makes. So I do like to play it more than I do play other things, but I do play a lot of stuff from the 80s era, 70s, 60s, all that stuff. I enjoy playing all of it. And it does look like that beauty ring has a crack. Maybe we can do something about gluing that back together. It's a pretty clean crack. So maybe we can do something about that. I'm going to try and fix that for him. The toggle switch feels excellent. Nice and quiet, snappy. The bridge could use a bit of love, and the tailpiece. The tailpiece has a little bit of pitting in the chrome on the top of it, but we're not going to bother that. We're going to leave that just how it is, because we don't want this thing looking brand new. We want it looking shiny yet old. There's a little sticker spot on it. Now, let me show you guys what this looks like. Right here is the little sticker mark. I don't know if you can tell that. I can see it on camera, but you can see where it's had a sticker on it. And you can probably see the cracks in the clear coat here and through here, and these beauty ring screws have got some rust on them. It keeps the guitar looking like it's supposed to be looking. And that's something that's been well loved, got a little bit of age on it. So we're going to just not bother that at all. and I'm not sure what these frets are made out of, but if you look right here, you can see spots of rust where it looks like maybe the strings were wet or gotten wet at one time, was laying against it and caused that. Not sure, but steel wool is the absolute best thing to get rid of that. It does leave a bit of residue behind on the fretboard, but we will just go back through and clean the fretboard again once we're done with our microfiber cloth, and that will take any of these little steel wool particles off of it.
Okay, I sped this part up because basically we've all been here. But I have found that if you get a lot of buildup of finger gunk on your fretboard, usually the best way to get it off is just go ahead and use some 4/0 steel wool, even 3/0 steel wool will do the trick. Just make sure that after you do so that you use some cleaner to get those particles off of the fretboard.
Okay, so now we are going to go over these frets and give them a good scrub it up dub and see if we can't get them looking good. Now I do have some flits polish coming in, I think Wednesday of this week, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be doing that before we put the strings back on this guitar. But right now we're just trying to get this nastiness off of these frets. I'm not sure what that is. I have no idea. But it may even take something a little bit rougher to get that off of there. It's coming off pretty good. You can tell that this thing was well played. These frets are a little flat, but it's not got any problems, so I'm not going to do anything to them unless a problem arises. We're just going to clean them up, polish them up, and give them back to him. This thing has got some amazing action on it. All right, now let's check the pots. Where's my little, there it is. You guys are actually clamped on to another one of Dave's little presents he brought to me, and that is a Crate G60 amplifier. It is a 112, and it's pretty unique little amplifier. I played through one of those back years ago, and I told him, I was like, man, that brings back the memories. And then I picked it up and I was like, yep, that brings back the memories. That thing is heavy as I don't know what. Just insane how heavy that thing is. And like it's pretty close to the weight of my Carvin X100B head, just the head. Pretty close to the weight of that. So I said, yeah, that really brings back the memories right there. I said, I remember having to lug one of them around for a while. I didn't keep it a long while. I had it for just a little while. Okay, so we're going to test for scratchy pots. And we have got it turned on. That one's good. Well, that one's good. That one's good. And that one's good. Good deal. So we won't have to do nothing to the pots. There's no scratchiness in them. Oh, so I guess for today, let's take this pickup out and let's go ahead and see if we cannot glue that little beauty ring so it will sit down in there. If I'm not mistaken, the 86 model come out, because he says he has the original, so I've seen it. It's actually in the guitar case. The original pickup is the one that has the solid metal top. I don't know much about those pickups other than, Gibson stock. I don't know where they come from or anything. I'm not real savvy on a lot of Gibsons. I know that I like the Gibson Les Paul. Not if I was going to have a Les Paul, it would be a Gibson. Not a super huge fan of Epiphone, although I played them. My son actually had an Epiphone Les Paul Studio that was a very nice instrument. I really liked that one. It was uh, extremely easy to play. And he ended up trading it off for that Spear RT 101 that I have now that he gave to me for Christmas. Uh, and it plays really good too. Uh, I've got nothing against Epiphones. I mean, I've always said that if you can't afford a Gibson, Epiphone is the next best thing. Yeah. Let's show you guys. You can see it's bowed up just a little, and there is a crack. Let's see if that'll focus. I don't think it will. There's a crack right here. So, not really sure how I'm going to fix that without breaking it the rest of the way. Just barely hanging on. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to come at it from the inside and glue it and get some of that glue down in there. And then once we bring it back and possibly put a clamp on it to hold it down level, maybe that'll do the trick. It looks like the screw holes are all good. Nobody has covered any screw holes. So let's go ahead and do that. I am going to push up on it just enough to where I can put a drop on the inside there where it's hidden. So if it dries on the outside, there won't be any spots where it can be seen. And the glue we are using is going to be Loctite Super Glue. I swear by this stuff. It is really good stuff. Loctite has always done extremely well for me. I guarantee you, if it breaks again, it will break in another spot besides this one. Usually with Loctite, it only takes just a few seconds. If you guys have followed my Schecter C7 series where I put 8-string pickups into that guitar, Loctite I used for the template to cut out the hiccup holes in order for the 8-string pickups to fit into it. And basically I masked off around the hole with painter's tape and the bottom of the template with the same, and then just run some Loctite around it. It gives you about 15 seconds to get it adjusted just to the right spot and grab the hold. And once it grabs hold, it's there until you pull it off by hand. It does no damage to the guitar whatsoever. That seems like it's holding pretty well. We're not going to tighten it back down right now. We're going to wait until that sets for at least 24 hours before we do anything to it. However, I am going to put some Dunlop O2 fretboard conditioner on the fretboard, and we are going to get it oiled up. Yeah, we just want her to shine. We want her to get good and get that wood good. And there's no cracks or anything in this fretboard that I've seen, which is saying a lot for a 40-year-old guitar. So instead of wiping that off, I am going to leave it to do its thing. I'm going to leave it to soak in and do its thing and let it evaporate on its own. And then we are going to come back and take care of possibly another coat of that in the next episode of String Pickers. That's going to be it for episode 1. Basically, just a backstory um, to this guitar, and wanted to see if I could get this stuff off the fretboard and the frets, get the strings off of it, and kind of look at that pickup ring, which seems to be setting pretty well. You can still feel that the crack's there, but it's not all bowed up like it was. May have to back up and punt on that. I'm not sure. Come back for episode 2. Episode 2 is going to be us putting the notched level on it, checking the neck, make sure it's real good and tight and got set right where it's supposed to be. We're going to run the fret rocker across the frets, make sure that the frets are not raised here or there. I have run into it in the past where I have used fretboard conditioner on really dry necks, and then all of a sudden the frets start sprouting. I don't know why, but they do. I don't think that's going to be the problem on this. This neck was relatively in good shape, not great shape, but in good shape. And we are going to look at a couple other things, maybe take the back plate off behind the toggle and behind the electronics cavity down here where the volume pots and the tone pots are, because I really like this guitar. I mean, it's a beautiful guitar. I don't know why. I just like older stuff, especially something as legendary as Les Paul's, especially one that is made in the USA that I rarely get my hands on because it seems like everything comes from China these days, which is not a bad thing. You can get good guitars and stuff from overseas, from different countries and stuff. So I'm not really saying anything about their quality and workmanship. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but Gibson is kind of iconic. Les Paul he was the man. Everybody knows he was the man, just like Leo Fender. Have mad respect for those two. I really, really like their stuff. I'm glad to be a part of the era where they hit it big and everybody was playing their stuff. Leo Fender had Stevie Ray Vaughan, he had Eric Clapton, he had Jimi Hendrix. You had people playing the Les Pauls, big names out there. So it's really iconic for me to get to work on one of these guitars and to work around trying to make them better again. Getting to work on some instrument of this magnitude for me is really cool. I really enjoy it. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Come see me for part 2. As always, I hope that you have the most blessed day ever, and God be with you all, and I will see you later.